How's going on, people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kosi and this is the Arsenal podcast. Time to do the transfer ratings and call it a day. I'm really tired, but I want us to rate the players we bought. How out of 10 do you rate them? How do you rate Arteta in this transfer window? How do you rate Edu? How do you rate Willian? How do you rate Thomas Partey and the others? How do you rate transfer, the transfer window generally in terms of Arsenal, in comparison to other clubs as well? That's what I want us to do in a couple of minutes, then we call it a day. The transfer window didn't start off so well. We were linked with a couple of very good players: Mark Roca, Max Aarons, Felipe Coutinho, Wilfred Zaha, and so many. So we all got excited, and we thought we were gonna bring in all the best players, but eventually we got in some good quality, which was which takes me to something like 5 out of 10 for Arsenal as well, or 6 out of 10. But anyway, I'll be looking at that as at the end of the video. We missed out on some good signings like Hausemowa. That player should have joined Arsenal by all means. That showed, that would have showed that maybe we needed the player more. We should have done better than that. We should have got Hausemowa, and I will deduct 2-3 marks from the Arsenal player rating. From our player ratings for missing out on Hausemowa. But anyway, starting with Willian, the past player who signed from Chelsea on a free deal. I think we did well. He has something very, very special and natural. He adds to our attack. He has something that we didn't have. That kind of player that cuts across the midfield. That kind of player that plays in the wing, doesn't settle. Right now is in the wings. The next time is in the is in the midfield, in middle of the park. The next time is in the box. So that kind of player who always creates that tense situation for clubs. We needed such kind of player, and I think when you look at all teams, they almost have such kind of players. They almost have, every team has such kind of player. Liverpool have a Roberto Firmino. He never rests. He's always here and there. Manchester City have one. Chelsea look about a player like Christian Pulisic. So Willian, big signing. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It was a good signing, free deal. It doesn't really cost us a lot of money. It's gonna be just wages and so on. So I think 8 out of 10, and based on his performances so far, it shows really that he has added something to Arsenal, managing to bench Nicola Pepe, making him work harder and harder, bringing in that competition on the forward line. I think 8 out of 10 would be just good for the man himself, William Borges da Silva. Then I'll cross over to the man himself, Dani Ceballos. He was with us last season. He comes back on loan. If we had signed him on a permanent deal, it should would have been something like 7 out of 10. But because we got him out on loan, not even with a buy option, with no buy obligation, he can simply walk back to Atletico Madrid. To Real Madrid, use him or sell him to another club. I think we did get that. We did get that right. He never had a bad season at Arsenal, especially at the end. I think he's one of the players that had really got caught fire, and then we called it end of the season. Helped us win the FA Cup last season. We helped us win the FA Cup, and of course road to the Community Shield, which we won as well. He wasn't around, but the road to FA Cup, beating Sheffield, he scored that win against Sheffield, so that we could actually go on to the semi-finals and the finals. Dani Ceballos, I'll give that signing a 6 out of 10. I don't know what you guys think, but I think I'm going to give Dani Ceballos his signing a 6 out of 10. I think we should have done better with his signing. It should have been it should have been a permanent signing, because probably he has a big release clause, and his money is big. We should have had something like negotiations for a buy obligation or an option to buy. So but because we didn't do that, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 for Dani Ceballos. Crossing over to the big man himself, Thomas Partey, who signed yesterday on deadline day. Now, because this deal was a deadline day, it gets an extra mark, and because Arsenal failed to get him on time, it costs Arsenal 1 mark. It's, the Thomas Partey deal gets a mark, but Arsenal as a club in the transfer loses a mark. Why did we have to take so long? I still ask myself. We were going to pay this 50 million euros. We are 4 games inside the season. We have been struggling in the midfield. Everybody's laughing at us. Our midfield is a hologram, absolute crap, absolute shit. We have the money to pay for Thomas Partey, and we are just sitting to wait for deadline day. What the hell was that? But the good thing that he signed, like I said, he signed on deadline day. I'm giving him an extra mark. He's one player that I think is going to transform the midfield of Arsenal as a team. Big signing, a big player at Atletico Madrid, a big player. He is going to be at Arsenal. Obviously, way too better than what we have. Miles and miles better than Xhaka, miles and miles better than Mohamed Elneny. A signing the fans have been waiting for. Everybody has been looking for this Thomas Partey signing. Is he going to come, Kosi? Is he going to come? Finally he signed. Shirt number 18. I'll give this signing an 8 out of 10. 2 marks, 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10. I know most of you, that's what's going to be your player ratings, and make sure you give it to me. But I'm going to give this signing an 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's a big signing. A player, if he works out, is going to transform Arsenal. He's going to bring that fear in Arsenal, that we are, opponents are going to be feeling that we are going to play Arsenal, and Arsenal with Gabriel Magalhaes, and Arsenal with Thomas Partey, and Arsenal with Aubameyang. That is why I give him an 8 out of 10. Big signing it was. Another signing that I'll be taking into consideration at this time is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, Aubameyang is not really a new signing. You remember we signed him in January, almost 2 years back, from Borussia Dortmund, when we had lost Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United. Hopefully and thankfully that that signing did work, and Aubameyang really worked for us, winning the Golden Boot last season by 1 and failing to win the boot last season by 1 goal. That is a player you need to keep at the club, and it must have been our biggest signing. I know he has not caught fire yet. He only scored 1 goal against Fulham. He didn't score against Liverpool. He didn't score against Sheffield. He didn't score either against West Ham. But he is a man that can win us 5 games. We saw that in the FA Cup last season. He won us almost the FA Cup single-handedly. If you don't sign a player like that, if you don't extend his contract, as an Arsenal fan and as a person who loves Arsenal, I'm going to rate the club at 0 out of 10. But because we gave we got the chance and we used it to sign Aubameyang, extend his contract 3 more years, 370k a week. I don't care even if they give him a million a week. He deserves it. Aubameyang signing gets a 9 out of 10. I'm very mean with marks. You guys know that. You know when I do player ratings, I'm very ruthless with Arsenal. But this time, I'm giving the signing of Aubameyang a 9 out of 10. So make sure you tell me how much do you give each player? How much do you give each player? Like I said, Aubameyang gets a 9 out of 10. And I'll cross over to William Saliba. He signed last summer from Saint Etienne. He stayed there on loan. He was going back on loan to Saint Etienne, but the deadline caught up with the deal. So he's going to be staying at the club. I believe he's a teenager, but he's one of the biggest signings, biggest centre backs that are going to be alive and present in the EPL this season. If Mikel Arteta only gives him a chance, he's going to be one of the biggest players we can ever have in that side this season. Many fans want to see William Saliba play with Gabriel Magalhaes. Mikel Arteta doesn't want to see that. He's still playing a back 3. That means he wants to play Luis Tierney and Gabriel Magalhaes. There are very less chances that we shall see William Saliba partner Gabriel Magalhaes. Although that is the centre back pairing that you guys want to see, it might not be as it might not come as easy as you may take it. So William Saliba, because he signed last summer, he hasn't played so much, but I think he's a player that can be a very good backup player when Gabriel Magalhaes gets injured, when Rob Holding does his crap, when David Luiz causes 5 penalties. You bring in William Saliba, you are sure you have that man who can give you that defensive assurance, you have that man who can give you that option on the bench, and you can be very, very secure that I'm bringing on William Saliba when when Luiz gets injured, when Rob Holding gets injured. I'll give him a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10, that's good enough. That's good enough. That's not even average. It is fair enough, fairly good. Okay, then the last person I'm going to give a 10 out of 10 is Gabriel Magalhaes. Gabriel Magalhaes signed from Lille for us for £22 million. I think he was our second signing of the summer. All of us thought that Gabriel Magalhaes is going to be this, is going to be that, is going to be this. We didn't know what he was, what was going to become at Arsenal. We rated him as a big player, but all of us didn't actually believe that he was the player he is until he has shown us his experience, he has shown us his talent, he has shown us his abilities in the Premier League. And I wonder why Manchester United has a player like Harry Maguire for 80 million and we have a player like Gabriel Magalhaes for 22 million, and our defense is way too organized and better than the banter club Manchester United that conceded 6 against Tottenham. I also remember Liverpool signed a 75 million centre back, but somehow at some point Aston Villa told them that we can give you 7 goals inside your net. They say it's impossible, and it happened. So with Gabriel Magalhaes and the way he has really improved Arsenal, the aerial duels, the ground duels, all that kind of play, how he has organized the defense, how fast he is, the reaction, the shot blocking, success rates, I'm gonna give him a 10 out of 10. Gabriel Magalhaes is my signing of this summer. I cannot forget that we have had very many problems last season when it comes to the defense, and I cast Mikel Arteta for leaving out Gabriel Magalhaes in the Liverpool game because probably we should have done more better with with Rob Holding doing a lot of crap and so on. I think Gabriel Magalhaes deserves a 10 out of 10. He is one player we have been missing. Now we cannot forget chief negotiator Edu. We cannot forget chief negotiator Edu, one man who has always done so much this summer. He has always done so much this summer. Arsenal fans have been crying out for him. Arsenal fans have been cussing him. Arsenal fans are now thanking him. He has done so well. Brought in almost everybody was a Brazilian, linked to us, but some of them that signed were not Brazilian. He brought us Partey. He brought us Gabriel Magalhaes. He brought us Willian. Why not? And he signed Aubameyang. Why not give him a 7 out of 10? I think Edu, if he had brought in Hausemawa, I would give him a 9 out of 10 because he failed to get Hausemawa, his transfer business drops to 7 out of 10. Mikel Arteta, one person that convinced Willian that he's going to win the Champions League in the next 3 years. He convinced Willian to sign. He convinced Gabriel Magalhaes to sign. He convinced Aubameyang to sign. Probably he talked to Partey and convinced him to sign, maybe. I think Mikel Arteta deserves an 8 out of 10. The big manager, one of the biggest managers in the league right now, very young, very intelligent, he's doing a lot of magic. He deserves more backing from the board, and the board is not really giving him all the tools for the job that he's asking for. And for that reason, because the board has money and Stan Kroenke has just made a profit of 323 million and he doesn't want to inject in us, I'm giving the Arsenal board headed by Stan Kroenke a 4 out of 10. Thank you for giving us Thomas Partey. Thank you for giving Gabriel Magalhaes. But I think we should have done better if you guys were behind, were behind Mikel Arteta and wanted to back him. 4 out of 10 for the Arsenal board. And of course, the overall transfer of Arsenal. How do I rate the overall transfer market? Now, when I'm rating the overall transfer market, you might think I'm looking about the players that have arrived. No, I'm looking at the players that have come into the club, the players that have left, those that should have left but didn't leave, those that we should have signed but we didn't sign, and those players that left the club like Emi Martinez but shouldn't have left the club in the first place. So when I think about all those things and add them together, I'm gonna give our transfer business a 5 out of 10, because players like Hausema were clearly needed at the at the Emirates Stadium, at the Arsenal. We know that we need a creative midfielder, and that's why we're linked with Hausema. That's why we're linked with BENRAHMA. That's why we're linked with Felipe Coutinho. That was clear enough. That those were clear indications to say and see that we needed a creative midfielder, but we ignored that, and our transfer business never thought that we need to get in someone like creative midfielder. No way. I need to give you a 5 out of 10 Arsenal transfer business. Okay, Emi Martinez left the club. All of us know he was a loyal servant. He was a loyal player. He should have stayed. We should have given him a good contract. What do you think? So because of that, I'm going to give our transfer business a 5 out of 10. Thank you for staying with me. This is the Arsenal podcast. Make sure you subscribe, give me your comment below, and make sure you give me your player ratings, this transfer signing ratings. How much do you rate each player, and why do you give them so low, or why do you give them so much? Which transfer is more exciting in the Arsenal transfers we made in the 2020-20 summer? Don't forget, I'm opening up the Arsenal Scout. It's going to be a video every day talking about which player we should sign. Every day we should have that segment, and don't worry, transfers are coming back. I'll see you in January and even in the summer